On July 12, 2016, a small nation stood its ground against the superpower and prevailed. Scarborough Shoal lies in the heart of the West Philippine Sea. The West Philippine Sea lies within our 2.2 million square kilometer exclusive economic zone. It powers the future of the Filipino people and carries 40% of global trade. In 2012, Philippine and Chinese vessels faced off at Scarborough Shoal after China blocked the arrest of its fishermen, leading to a standoff, a confrontation that led the Philippines to The Hague, where principle triumphed over power. There is no 9-dash line. The West Philippine Sea is the inheritance of the Filipino people. This is our mana. This is the way forward. This is the unsinkable spirit. Victory was declared in 2016, but mana endures only through presence. Sovereignty does not live on paper alone, but in every Filipino who must stand watch. 10 years after the arbitral ruling, the question is no longer whether the Philippines won. It is what this victory now demands of a nation entrusted with mana. The tribunal affirmed that the 9-dash line does not override Philippines' sovereignty over its territories and its sovereign rights within the 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, creating a legal foundation that now shapes international policy, including the Code of Conduct in the South China Sea. This episode follows how that victory moved beyond the courtroom, carried by fisherfolk, citizens, and a new generation determined to defend our seas, protect our mana, and keep the promise of the West Philippine Sea.
The tribunal said that the 9-dash line cannot prevail over our exclusive economic zone. We have a full exclusive economic zone of 200 nautical miles from our archipelagic baselines, unimpaired by China's 9-dash line.
In 2016, we won a landmark case that all academies, military academies, universities are studying it. The UNCLOS in the parlance of common people is about the rights, the contributions that we gave to the world basically would be lawfare.
The value of the arbitral ruling is provides us a basis for the laws that we pass. For example, the Maritime Zones Law and the Archipelagic Sea Lanes Law. It allows us a control of the narrative when we deal with China, particularly when confronted with yung manufactured legal basis nila.
Rafaela David, convener of the Atin Ito coalition, carries a simple but powerful message. The West Philippine Sea is a shared responsibility of every Filipino. Atin Ito reminds us that defending what is ours does not begin at sea. It begins with the will of the people to stand together and say, Atin Ito. In 2012, President Benigno Aquino III formally named the West Philippine Sea to assert the Philippines' exclusive economic zone.
And we were really thankful because the president back then, si President Noynoy Aquino, passed an administrative order na gawin siyang West Philippine Sea.
The West Philippine Sea is not just a national concern. 1/3 of global trade passes through it. Trillions of dollars move across these waters each year.
Whenever a country stands in a responsible way and persists in asserting rights, not just for itself, but for the sake of others who want the rule of law, and does it despite difficulty with restraint, not just saber-rattling or what, I think I would believe, and there's enough evidence in terms of feedback, that our standing in the world has gone up.
Paeng David, together with a band of concerned citizens made up of fisherfolk, activists, artists, public servants, and retired military launched the Atin Ito coalition, which held various expeditions to the West Philippine Sea. Among this was to Scarborough Shoal in May of 2024.
Para sa kabataan, ang West Philippine Sea symbolizes our future.
Nung nagkaroon ng pag-imbita ang Atin Ito coalition, yan sila Ate Paeng, sila Kaed, hindi ako nagdalawang isip na sumama sa misyon. Unang-una, yun naman talaga ang puso ko. Nasa mangingisda ang puso ko, kaya ano pa man, nasabi nila yun, natatakot ba ako or kailangan ba may takot sa puso mo?
And so, on May 14, 2024, the Atin Ito coalition launched an expedition to Scarborough Shoal to assert and celebrate the UNCLOS victory.
PRRM has spent over 7 decades in rural development. We were biased in favor of farmers, and the fisherfolk told us, food is not just rice, it is also fish. The Philippines is more than 300,000 square kilometers of land. Our exclusive economic zone is 2.2 million square kilometers. We are the 15th largest fishing nation in the world. The Philippines is a maritime and archipelagic nation, or MANA. Mana natin ito. We must defend it.
2016 arbitral ruling is very helpful. It really gave a concrete decision that the 9-dash line has no basis. The EEZ, the 200 nautical miles covered by the EEZ of the Philippines, is ours. And we have sovereign rights to the claimed islands that we have occupied.
And our victory with the UNCLOS is mas naging knowledgeable yung mga sundalo nating na-deploy doon. Mas lalong napatatag yung assertion natin na atin talaga to.
You go to the Freedom Land. Freedom Land, that's the Kalayaan Island group. Pag-asa is about 40 hectares. It's the biggest island in the Kalayaan Island group, which we call Kalayaan now, Kalayaan Municipality.
So it's much better if we're going to talk, we talk all together. And that's what happened during the 2002 Code of Conduct. It's a multilateral agreement among the claimant countries.
I hope this can be settled through diplomatic means. Though we are happy that we now have the UNCLOS ruling, which is to our advantage, I don't think China will give up their claim or recognize the UNCLOS ruling. Let them know that this has been ours ever since, that the Marines have been there ever since. We never left that area. And we hope now that it has gained international attention, they should be proud that we called Filipinos fighting for their own sovereignty and territory.
We are here to ensure that the people can live freely without any harassment, be it internal or external.
West Philippine Sea is ours. It is our future, so we have to defend it.
It's all about the Filipino people being first. The 10th year anniversary of the victory of the South China Sea arbitration. The unsinkable spirit. Atin ang West Philippine Sea. This is our mana. This is the way forward. This is the unsinkable spirit. Escorted by just one Coast Guard vessel, they faced one of the world's most formidable navies.
To struggle might not lead to immediate and dramatic results, but for people to react and say, I must do something about this, that for me is that is the capital. Yun ang puhunan na dapat huwag mabawasag.
Klaro naman kasi na pagdating sa military might, malaki ang advantage ng China. Pero pagdating sa batas, Pilipinas ang siguradong merong alas.
And I think that was a turnaround story for the Philippines from being a small country to becoming now a middle power.
But the whole point of the United Nations is, first of all, to avoid war as a settlement of disputes. And secondly, establish the rule of law.
It started with an idea kasi, di ba? Na parang, imbis na magprotesta tayo sa kalsada, why not do it sa West Philippine Sea mismo? Punta tayo doon. At ipakita natin sa mga Chinese vessels na andito ang mga Pilipino magkakasama.
It is the Philippines that should be given the jurisdiction to manage and have accountability of all these marine resources.
I think the concept of the Filipino first, aligned to the UNCLOS provisions, is that, of course, nation-states should be protected because that's the home of our people, the home of the future leaders of our country.
We often joke about it. When they sing Eat Bulaga, it's from Apari to Holo. Well, now it's not only from Apari to Holo, it's from Batanes to Tawi-Tawi to the West Philippine Sea.
As a people, we need to appreciate the ocean, appreciate what it means to us as a people historically, appreciate what it means for us as a resource, appreciate what it means to us as a patrimony, right? Not that we own, but one that we will pass on.
Kaya ang trabaho ng ating mga Scarborough fishermen noon ay nagnanakaw sa sariling pangisdaan. So napakasakit pakinggan kung ganun ang nangyayari sapagkat pag-aari nating pangisdaan. Nasa loob siya ng ating exclusive economic zone ang nasabing lugar dahil nasa 124 nautical miles lang ang layo nito mula sa bayan ng Masinloc. Subalit ang naghahari ay dayuhan at hindi Pilipino ang nakikinabang sa ating pangisdaan.
Nakakagigil talaga. Kasi una-una, imbis na mga kapwa natin Pilipino na mangingisda, ang makinabang, sila ang nakikinabang at ibinebenta sa atin mismo. Tayo yung umaangkat. Na ang alam natin is huli nila, pero doon mismo sa katubigan natin hinuhuli.
The mission to Scarborough Shoal was meant to be a celebration of heroism and life.
Parada siya ng iba't ibang mangingisda, and we were able to bring together 100 fishing vessels to go out at sea and have a peaceful parade going to the Scarborough Shoal. We were hoping to go there and bring the needed supplies for our fisherfolk kasi kapag naglayag yung mga yan, days at a time sila na nasa laot para mangisda. If we looked at the first mission, we were bringing gifts. We were holding a Catholic Mass in our own waters. Sila, ang bit-bit nila, kanyon. Ang bit-bit nila, warship. So, it's blatantly clear to the international community who is actually escalating tensions. And it's definitely not the Philippines. China should stop gaslighting the Philippines and the whole world with the lies that they've been peddling.
Nagkaroon ng shadowing kasi. Hindi lang isa, dalawang may mga militia, Chinese militia vessel din na bumuntot dun sa sa barko namin nung time na yun. Mautak pa rin ng mga Pilipino kahit pa paano. Pero yung tense, andun talaga. Talagang gusto namin maranasan na, water cannon nyo kami. May pakita namin sa mga Pilipino kung gaano kami katapang para ipagtanggol yung sariling atin.
Welcome to the first ever roundtable discussion on the Philippine Blue Economy, jointly sponsored by the FVR Legacy Initiative and the Philippine Rural Reconstruction Movement. The ocean is more than just water. It's the lifeblood of the Philippines. But how do we protect it while ensuring sustainable growth? The Philippines' ocean-based industries contribute an estimated 7% to the country's GDP, generating jobs in fisheries, aquaculture, maritime transport, tourism, and energy. These sectors sustain millions of livelihoods, but they also face growing challenges from climate change, overfishing, and pollution. A 2017 joint study by the World Bank and the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs highlights the blue economy's potential to increase long-term benefits for coastal communities. It states, the blue economy concept seeks to promote economic growth, social inclusion, and the preservation or improvement of livelihoods, while at the same time ensuring environmental sustainability of the oceans and coastal areas. The World Bank defines the blue economy as the sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods, and ecosystem health. The ASEAN Blue Economy Framework promotes innovation, sustainability, and regional cooperation, ensuring that Southeast Asia maximizes its ocean-based opportunities while protecting marine ecosystems. The Changwon Declaration reinforces the need for inclusive and resilient blue economy strategies, strengthening ocean governance, adapting to climate change, and safeguarding marine biodiversity. With the proposed Blue Economy Act, the Philippines is taking bold steps toward developing policies that will secure our marine industries, drive sustainable economic growth, and protect our oceans for future generations. We cannot rely on Congress alone. Much still needs to be done. Let us help build a governance structure that can balance competing interests, address plastic waste pollution of our seas, and the negative effects of climate change. Our oceans are our future. Together, let's build a sustainable blue economy, one that supports people, the planet, and prosperity.
This is our mana. This is the way forward. This is the unsinkable spirit. In Filipino culture, mana means inheritance, a trust passed from one generation to the next.
Mana is we assert our rights, but we will exercise these rights in a responsible way as responsible stewards of this part of the world, of our waters and our land.
About 70% of our territory is surrounded by waters. If you would imagine that potential, 70% of our economy would rely from the blue ocean. The impact of the arbitral award to our fisherfolk were immense and powerful in such a way that, of course, they're the frontliners. Our fisherfolks feed the Filipinos. And if they couldn't fish, how could they feed us?
If you look at the West Philippine Sea issue, ang pinag-uusapan natin dito is food security, our energy security.
As the mission to Scarborough Shoal went ahead, it was a small band of Filipinos who thought of standing up to one of the world's superpowers. The Atin Ito missions were about presence.
Standing up to China is not without risk to them, especially kasi kabuhayan nila yun eh. At umuo sila na sumama sa mission dahil alam nila na mas malaki yung laban at hindi lang ito yung bawat araw na pangingisda nila. Ito yung mas pangmatagalan na mapapanatili ba nating tayo ang may karapatan dito sa Scarborough Shoal.
Yung second mission naman, kami yung nasa advance mission na kung saan isa ko pong babae na nandoon sa bangka. At that time, yung Chinese Navy nila, nilapitan na rin kami, yung bangka namin. Paglapit nila sa amin, siguro yung mga kasama namin, pinakita lang naman talaga yung karaniwang ginagawa ng mga isda.
Makita mo yung yung demeanor ng mga fishing boat captains, yung determination nila na to go through that mission knowing na 100% probability ang babangga sa kanila Chinese Coast Guard. And when they performed that mission in May 15 of last year, there were actually 40 plus Navy, Coast Guard, and militia vessels nag-aabang sa kanila. And yet they went without hesitation.
And yet, yung sense of pinagsama-samang katapangan ng volunteers, fisherfolk, and even members of the media, it really showed to China na hindi tayo magpapabuli. Tuloy lang tayo kahit meron pa siyang blockade ng Chinese vessels and ships doon.
It pays to be calm because you can decide better. It pays to be professional because you can exude that message of maturity and you will gain respect. And it pays to be resolute and unyielding because they will also respect you just the same.
As the mission was fulfilled, Paeng David celebrated her birthday at sea with the Filipinos, victoriously standing up to a superpower as they successfully resupplied Filipino fishermen.
If I can celebrate my birthday in the West Philippine Sea at hindi ako mapipigilan ng China, sa tingin ko panalo yon. Kung we can hold a small feast with our fisher folk, kasama nung ating mga volunteers na kabataan in the middle of the West Philippine Sea, and China cannot do anything about it. That for us is an important victory already.
That we have been there for decades. We never left.
Ang mga Vietnamese naman po ay magaling din namang makisama. At kung ano yung mayroon silang pagkain, ano rin yung mayroon sa amin. Pagka naubusan sila ng pagkain doon at inabutan kami ng unos, talagang maganda yung barter na nangyayari.
Kiusap sila, kikilibilo, para namin din mangingisda. Kung ano yung ipinapalit nila sa amin na gusto nilang kainin, ipinapalit din namin sa kanila.
Sa pangingisda namin noon kumpara sa ngayon, noon kasi may mga nakakahalubilo kami ng mga ibang lahi katulad ng mga sa Vietnam, pag pumapalaot kami dyan sa West Philippine Sea. Sa Scarborough, napakalaya talaga dyan. Makakita kami ng ibang lahi, sama-sama lang talaga dun sa area.
Wala po kaming nakita na nambubuli sa amin. Maliban sa mga nangyari noon sa mga China, na talagang mula nung nagkaroon ng tensyon at nagkaroon nga ng standoff dahil doon sa mga ganong pangyayari.
Yung mensahe ko lang sa gobyerno na gusto ko lang na may paglaban nila para sa mga kabataan na mayroon pang generation na mangingisda, na mayroon pa silang maasahan na hanggang sa paglaki nila, mayroon pang marami pang makukuha ng isda.
This is our mana. This is the way forward. This is the unsinkable spirit. Beyond Scarborough Shoal, harassment in the West Philippine Sea is not confined to a single reef. Across the Kalayaan Island group, overlapping claims and growing foreign presence have turned these waters into one of the world's most contested maritime frontiers.
You know, in the Marines, you are one step higher in level if you were assigned in the West Philippine Sea. We called it at the time Kalayaan Island Group.
In 1956, Filipino explorer Tomas Cloma sailed west of Palawan and declared the scattered reefs and islands he found as Kalayaan, or Freedom Land.
We are always working together with the Navy, being part of the Navy, as well as the general mandate of the armed forces. That is that we will never lose a territory in that claim, islands and different features.
And our victory with the UNCLOS is mas naging knowledgeable yung mga sundalo nating nadi-deploy doon. Mas lalong napatatag yung assertion natin na atin talaga to. And every time may deployment tayo sa KIG, we have a pre-deployment training. Ini-instill sa Marines natin, sa mga sundalo na legally atin yung West Philippine Sea.
ROAR missions, rotation and resupply, are the lifeline of Filipino troops stationed in the West Philippine Sea, delivering food, water, and relief to those guarding our most remote outposts. Proof that the Philippines will never abandon its sovereignty.
Ang pinaglalaban natin dito is ang karapatan natin that is anchored in international law.
Ang West Philippine Sea, napakayaman po niyang katubigan natin na yan. Andyan ang mga bahura. Yung Scarborough na yan, talagang napakagagandang isda po ang laman yan.
To keep this mana, our inheritance, means not only defending our sovereignty and sovereign rights, but developing a blue economy.
And so the Blue Economy Framework Act actually creates that council. It creates the institutional agency or instrument in government to make sure that we have appropriate blue economy planning.
More than half of our LGUs are coastal communities. They practically cover the whole area of the Philippines more than our security forces. We need to secure so that we can enjoy the resources that would spur economic growth.
If you have a comprehensive land use plan, you should have a comprehensive maritime use plan.
To unlock the promise of our blue economy, the Philippines must internationalize the issue, bringing the world behind the rule of law in the West Philippine Sea.
Maybe that's part of what we now call internationalizing the issue, getting more allies on our side, or having ASEAN countries, including the claimant countries, to come to an agreement. And of course, the ruling on UNCLOS, that's very critical. Kaya mahalaga na itong taon especially, we're chairing the ASEAN. Hopefully, may magandang maging resulta sa ating usapin with them, with the other states, especially that we're crafting the code of conduct. But we can continue to make use of this forum, of this grouping as ASEAN, because it may not be an enforcement force, but rather it could be more of a political and diplomatic pressure group that would compel compliance to norms and international law.
Anong laking bagay na mamulat yung mata ng mga kabataan dun sa klase ng panghaharas at pambubuling ng China. We were really thankful because the international community took notice.
Which, by the way, the fisherfolk told me when I asked them, okay ba ginagawa namin? O baka tingin nyo, sumisikat lang kami, kinakawa. Sabi niya, which they meant, alam nyo, talaga naman dati may problema dati. Wala naman pumapansin eh. The fact na pinansin nyo kami at pinansin ng iba, hindi agad solusyon pero malaking bagay.
Helping our Filipino people to ensure that they can fish in that area without being harassed. And we are there to help the Filipino people.
Well, yun nga, no? Itong nangyayari dito, itong mga ICAD na tinatawag natin, no? Illegal, coercive, aggressive, deceptive actions that are done towards us actually affects each and every Filipino. Pag hindi makapangisda ang ating mga mangingisda, mahal ang bilihin, no? Sa ating mga palengke. So, it affects a normal Filipino who just wants to buy their regular, just to put food at the table.
There is only one word that can best describe yung feeling ng China when we went to Scarborough last year and they deployed 40 vessels to face us. And that word is fear. Filipinos rising up against them.
Hindi lang ito laban ng AFP at laban ng Coast Guard at ng BFAR, ng DFA. Ito ay laban ng bawat mamamayang Pilipino.
West Philippine Sea is ours. It is our future and we have to defend it. The West Philippine Sea.
West Philippine Sea! Atin Ito! West Philippine Sea! Atin Ito! Now West Philippine Sea! Atin Ito!
Ito ang mana natin. What happens next is our promise to keep. We have to keep fighting for what is ours. Atin ang West Philippine Sea. On July 12, 2016, a small nation stood its ground against the superpower and prevailed. Scarborough Shoal lies in the heart of the West Philippine Sea. The West Philippine Sea lies within our 2.2 million square kilometer exclusive economic zone. It powers the future of the Filipino people and carries 40% of global trade. In 2012, Philippine and Chinese vessels faced off at Scarborough Shoal after China blocked the arrest of its fishermen, leading to a standoff, a confrontation that led the Philippines to The Hague, where principle triumphed over power. There is no 9-dash line. The West Philippine Sea is the inheritance of the Filipino people. This is our mana. This is the way forward. This is the unsinkable spirit.